Okay, so let's fill this then. So at the start of the game, so the first moment this game starts up, we're going to make the opponent choice equal to random. So let's do range. So you'll notice the little thing says returns a random float number between min, so the minimum, which is inclusive, and max, which is also inclusive. So the minimum number and the maximum number are included in this range. Some other functions don't include the minimum and maximum, that's why it's specifying that. So in here, we'll open the brackets. You'll notice it tells us what we need to include. We need to include either integers or floats. If you press up and down, there's a little 1 of 2, 2 of 2 here. Look, that means there's two different ways we could use this. So let's do integers. Obviously, we're doing integers here. So the lowest we want it to be is a 1. The highest we want it to be is a 3. Semicolon. Okay, let's just test that. So save. So if we leave the game controller open here, press play, should randomly create. So we got a 2 that time. I'm going to stop playing, start playing. We got a 1. Got a 2. Yeah, so it's just randomly choosing a number, filling it into that variable for us. Now, potentially, the 3 is not being included. Doesn't seem to have come up yet. Okay, so we can't always trust these tooltips. Let's try putting a 4. Let's try that. Okay, we got a 1, 2. By the way, Control P is the shortcut to play the game. Control P, which is what I'm using now. There's the 3. We got the 3 there. Look. Okay. Cool, we got another 3. So we can't trust these tooltips at all times. It did not include the 3, even though we told it that was the maximum number. So that's why we're setting this to the 4. Okay, random, but hey, there you go. Sweet, so we've got an opponent's number has been created. The player can also get their number. What we probably want to do is use the update. So every frame it will check. And the player choice, let's say by default will be 0, and only when they click it will change. So what we should probably do is equals 0 here. So by default, when the game opens, player choice will always be 0. In the update, we can go if player choice is greater than 0, open some curly brackets. So of course, player choice will always be 0 until we click something, and our something will always be greater than 0. It'll be 1, 2, or 3. So this will trigger when the player has clicked any one of the buttons, any one of the options. So once the player has triggered one of their options, we need to compare. So we're going to do what do we need to do? We're going to have to now make all the different comparisons. So, you know, comparing rock to paper, paper to rock, all of that jazz. I'm going to quickly sketch it up. It's going to be easier to have a little diagram, I think, and then we'll come back and fill it in. Okay, so sometimes it's a good idea just to sketch things out, make them a bit more visual, and, you know, classic old paint, still useful for some things. All right, cool. So we've got rock, paper, scissors, pretty standard. We know how this works. Rock beats scissors, scissors cuts paper, paper covers rock. In our case, they are numbers. So 1, 2, and 3, yeah? So we need to just have that clear in our heads, that difference. So obviously what we're going to want to do is probably have an if statement that checks which one the player is. And then inside that, we can then check which one the opponent is and do some sort of result depending on. Okay, move that out of the way. So I think the way I think this is going to work best is going if player choice is equal to 1. You know what? Actually, we can remove this statement because these will only ever be true if the player has clicked something. Yeah, that makes more sense. It's good to try and optimize as much as you possibly can. So if you can think, that if statement doesn't need to be checked all the time, then don't do it. And literally while I'm telling you that, I've just realized that actually it will be better having one if statement than having 3. Because what I was planning on doing was copying this. In fact, let's put the brackets in and then copy it. So I was going to do 3 if statements like that we're going to do is equal to 1, is equal to 2, is equal to 3. Obviously what we would have, the computer would go check this, then it would check this, then it would check this. Check this, check this, check this, check this, check this. Alright, so it would do 3 things every frame. So don't forget this happens every frame. So see, I know that's only small, but obviously if as you get bigger and bigger and more things are happening in here, this would slow the computer down. 3 things. If we have this one check that goes, has the player selected anything yet? That's just 1. And it will check that and it will go, no, fine, no, fine, no, fine, no, fine. And then finally it will go yes. At which point, cool, we'll do something about it. So, okay, let's go with this then. So if the player choice is equal to 1, we can then do like 3 other ifs. So we could do opponent choice is equal to 1 as well. And we can then copy this, and we can do else if opponent choice is equal to 2, opponent choice is equal to 3. So let's bring this back in. So if player choice is 1, let's do a little side by side here. Come out of the way. Okay. So let's drop in here. So if player choice is 1, it's rock. Then if opponent choice is 1, it's also rock. And if player choice is 2, then it's going to be paper. And if it's 3, it's scissors. Let's just tidy this up by doing the same on all 3. So notice my indentations here as well, guys. You can see that I've got the void is this first line that staggers all the way down. And in fact, there is a bracket missing already. Then it's good we check that, right? Then we've got this if. Here's its bracket going all the way down to that one. Then we got if. Notice if you put your cursor next to these, it should highlight as well. So if I put that there, look, this one highlights to this one. So make sure you're keeping that nice indent, then it's clearer and more obvious which one is which. Okay, so players picked rock. If the opponent has picked rock, then obviously this is a draw. So let's just put draw in there. If it's rock and the computer picks paper, then let's just put CPU wins. Then obviously if it's we pick rock, they pick scissors, then player wins. Cool. Copy this. Put it inside these. So obviously we'll do this 3 different ones. So this is when the player picks paper. There we go. So paper versus rock that's player win. So we can check over here, paper versus rock, so paper to rock. Yep, that's a player win. Then we can do paper is a draw. And scissors on paper is a CPU win. Finally, scissors. So rock is going to be CPU win, paper is going to be a player win, and scissors on scissors is a draw.